And we are going live. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Tara Lynn, and I am here with my colleague, Kate Dorsey. And Kate is from Thrive Coaching. And can you please tell us about yourself a little bit, Kate?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been one of those days, right?
Technology. Who knows?
Yeah.
I've been ready to go. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to meet your audience. I am the owner and operator of Thrive Coaching. I have been a therapist and an empowerment coach for the past 12 years. I absolutely love helping my clients gain clarity over their vision, develop the courage and the confidence that they need to boldly go after their dreams,
Yes.
and to consistently get results, because that's what it's all about, right? I know consistency doesn't sound that sexy, but we sure want it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to the gym, don't you actually, right? Like, don't you actually want those results? So
yes.
Ultimately, that's really what I do. I absolutely love getting to work with clients. I've obviously had a passion for helping people for many, many years, hence being trained as a therapist.
See, I didn't know you were a therapist.
Yeah. I'm actually an art therapist too, which I like to think of as even better than a therapist. And here's why: because we have this additional training of how to work with artwork, how to read imagery, how to help clients utilize artwork to work through it, whatever's going on for them. So it's like super powerful.
It is very cool. I keep talking about how therapists need to evolve, because I think we're kind of
we're dinosaurs, aren't we?
We are dinosaurs.
Dying breed. Sorry, new therapists.
You're right.
True. That's where I stand.
That's where I stand too. And
people like coaches.
People like coaches, and people like results. And oftentimes in therapy, we don't get the same type of results. So
no. And I agree with you. And I also want to say that I think that there's a huge difference between the folks that say yes to coaching and the folks that say yes to therapy. And I don't mean this from a space of criticizing anyone, but I think that when you put a high dollar amount down, you show up, and you show up very differently than I'm paying a $25 copay twice a month. And this expectation of like, I'm just going to keep returning and coming back. Like, coaching always has an end date. You're not my client forever. You're my client for a certain window of time. Right. We're going to work together for 6 months. Let's get you those results. And then even better, we're partnering together. I'm not the authority. I'm your partner in this. Let's create this together. And you have access to me. Like, that's one of the biggest things. Like, therapy is, hey, I'm sitting here and I came into you and now I'm leaving, and like, don't connect with me at all during the time between, because if you do, you're violating boundaries and like work on your boundaries, right? Whereas coaching is like, yeah, I offer my private one-on-one coaching clients Voxer support. What is Voxer? It means they can message me at any point, because wouldn't that actually be a little bit more helpful? Yes. Let's say you're in the middle of an argument with your boyfriend or a good friend, or you're having a total meltdown or breakdown at work. Don't you want to be able to access your coach? Because there is something happening in that moment that you're making it mean, and you can't see it. If you could see it, you would have fixed it. Right?
Very, very, you're so passionate about this. I know.
I get real fired up about this.
Fired up. Well, it's good because we're talking about get courageous, girl. So so let's get fired up about this. I want to talk about confidence, and I want to talk about what gets in the way of confidence. So what do you think gets in the way?
So I would say outdated belief systems. And what I mean by that is anxiety, perfectionism, doubt, worry, fear, all the things that you tell yourself, and you've been telling yourself for so long that you don't even realize you're telling yourself. Like, comparison. The last time you were like, oh, my thighs are bigger than her thighs. Who gives a shit? Like, seriously, like, nobody else notices, just you.
That's
so
true.
And it's all these like negative internal judgments, your inner critic dominating you. And it's all of these things that you don't realize you're buying into, and you don't have to. So like, we form these belief systems when we're young, and we form them because we believe that they will help us navigate the world. If only I'd been a better little girl, mom wouldn't have been so upset with me. Right. If only I had done exactly what daddy said, he would have loved me more. So we internalize things as a child because we see things through a child's mind, which means it's very egocentric. So the entire world revolves around us. This is like, I think the easiest way to understand this is why when a couple is going through a divorce, they often recommend therapy for the child. And I believe therapy has a place and is appropriate for different things. Yeah. So like, why do we do that for children going through divorce? Because we know that little kids make that about them. And the therapist is there to help them realize it's not about them, because if they internalize that, then they go through the world believing that. And then everybody that I love leaves me, or everybody that I love falls apart. So it's really, really important to understand that, by the by, your belief systems don't make any freaking sense. So they are not logical. You want to know why? Because a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old made them.
Yeah.
Right? Like they made them. And then you don't realize it, but you have been walking around through life living from them, from that point. And it's perpetuated over and over in this story that you fell asleep to. So you don't even realize why you compare yourself to others, why you're so full of doubt, why you're so anxious, why you feel the need to try to control everything or to be absolutely perfect. You don't know why you're doing the things that you're doing, but you can gain awareness of them and you can break free from them. Just because you've had a belief system in place doesn't mean it has to continue to be in place.
And I think this is where being a therapist is super helpful in being a coach, because I talk about all this stuff all the time, and it's like the stamp of childhood, right? It's like your seal, your childhood seal right here that you're wearing and collecting evidence of these things throughout the course of your life, just more and more evidence, right?
Yeah, and absolutely.
I love that. It's like your 6-year-old decided these things for you and we're still acting upon them.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like,
why?
I've had 3 6-year-olds and some of the stuff they say, not cool. You
know? No, right? Yeah.
Cool.
I don't have any 6-year-olds. I've worked with children though, and I've often been like, what?
Yeah, exactly. This is not cool. Yeah. No.
I mean, I love their imagination. I'll give that to them. They've got great, vivid imaginations. They play fantastically.
What we have to remember.
Yeah.
That this is imagination. This is a story you were written. And I like what you had said, because I think sometimes we forget that we have choice to move away from those things, right? We don't have to continue to believe that you're not enough. You know, you don't have to continue that story,
you
right?
Said so.
Exactly.
You decided it. Nobody else told you this. You
did.
Made that up.
Right.
You made it up.
And perpetuated it.
Yes.
Every day.
And you're waiting on somebody to tell you that you're enough. But the truth is, the only person that can actually tell you that is you. So ultimately, you really have a choice. You can either believe that you're not enough. And I just want you to imagine all the things you're going to encounter and experience if you really believe that. You're going to be disappointed by the results that you consistently get. You're going to be upset with relationships. You're going to say, I'm never good enough for my partner, blah, 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 blah. Get it? Like roll that forward. Or I'm enough. I like myself. I think that I'm great. I love everything about me, up one side and down the other, including the things that I'm not great at, because there are plenty of things that I'm not great at, but who cares? And play that forward. Like, to me, it ultimately boils down to, you have a choice. What are you going to choose? And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that, okay, I feel like I'm enough and I've chosen that you're not going to run into obstacles, that you're not going to get tested, that you're not going to experience a fight with your boyfriend or your roommate and have to figure out, like, what did I just make that mean? But it's always going to come back to the power of your choice, the power of your beliefs, because your beliefs drive your perceptions, and that influences the way you experience the world.
That's super powerful. And there's an acronym about fear that I really love. It's false evidence appearing real. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
I love it, because I'm like, fear is everything. It's fake. It's phony baloney, you know?
It is.
Unless there's a legit bear chasing you, then I would be really scared. But most of the time, like, there's not. And I don't know about you, but I have spent so much time being worried about stuff. You know, and then when you actually do it, it doesn't feel like that at all. Like,
I
and then
know,
you're like,
isn't it funny?
why did I waste all that time?
I spent more time worrying
Exactly.
than, yeah. And I mean, like, there's definitely, like, I know you know this, there's definitely a legitimate survival mechanism behind fear, but hold up. Most of us, like you said, aren't running from bears or lions or a house fire. If you are, I'm sorry. I wish the best for you.
Yes.
But like, there's an appropriate there's an appropriate place for it. There's an appropriate activation for it. But you know what we experience fear over? Everything. Everything. Fear over, like, am I going to get the right parking spot? Or, and stress. And like, fear on a greater level is stress. Like, it shows up as stress in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. And it's really like, you are driving yourself crazy when you're like that. And so sometimes you just want to bring it back to, I always like to simplify things. I always say, does it help or does it hurt me? And then, no, Kate, it really isn't helping you to perpetually worry about whether or not you're going to be stuck in traffic tonight. Who cares?
Right. Or whether or not my Facebook Live is actually going to work, you know?
Right? Don't worry. I have this, I swear, I like jokingly tell people, I'm like, well, if it's with technology, it will probably fail with me. Yes, that's a belief system, but it's also just funny because I can't even tell you how many times technology loves to just flake on me. Yeah. They'll be like, Kate, did you do this? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice that.
Well, it's you then. It was not about me. It was about you tonight.
I source it. Wherever I go, I source technology issues.
Exactly.
Makes it, I like to live a life of excitement. So.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Your excitement turned into my panic, but anyway.
Sorry about that. Two very different experiences.
Exactly. This makes me think there was this video going around, Facebook video, and it was this little pony. I don't know if you saw it. It was this pony, and somebody was filming it from over here, and it was trying to jump out of the barn, and it had like a step that was probably about that deep, and the pony is doing this, like he'd get to the step and back up, and he'd get to the step and he'd back up, and he'd get to the step and he'd back. Yes. And then he finally just like took a running leap out into the enclosure and started bucking his back legs like, yeehaw, I did it. Oh my God. I don't know what's
so I have not seen that, but I need to Google it. I frequently watch little dog videos because I think they're so cute. Like, if you ever feel sad, my number one top recommendation is to go watch puppy videos.
Puppy videos? All right. I'll look that up and I'll send you the pony video.
Yeah, please do. I'd love to see.
Like, I watched it and I was like, do you know how many people this is? You know, I mean, this is a lot of people, like the anticipation of, and the fear of keeping them from taking one step forward. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So if you can give somebody some advice around that, what would you tell them to do?
So ultimately, I think Nike really nailed it.
Just do it. Yeah.
You know, and here's what I want to say about this. So one of the reasons people struggle with confidence is that they interpret the end result and make it about themselves. So what I mean by that is you are not your ad campaign that didn't land. You are not the really amazing dinner you made your boyfriend and he didn't even appreciate it. You are not the raise you didn't get. You are not the friend who canceled on happy hour. You are not the date that canceled on you. You are not any of those things. You make those things about you. And when you do that, you have a very hard time going after things. You have a very hard time being okay. You don't feel good internally, and you become more and more risk averse. So confidence is ultimately the decision to do it anyway. The recognition that my results are not me. Just like how I source technology issues, it's not actually me. So I never really stress about it because I'm kind of like, well, whatever, it'll work out when it works out. I've blocked off a certain amount of time. I'm going to do my best. But ultimately, it means that it's really easy to decide you want to do something and to pursue it when you no longer make it about you.
I love that. And I want to just say something because you said you become more and more risk averse. Yes. And I want to comment on that because I think the first thing that went through my head was, but then everything becomes a risk. Like, or not everything, but many things, even the smallest thing then becomes a risk that you're not going to do. So it's not just, I'm going to go out and I'm going to scale the Empire State Building, right, as a huge risk. It becomes, I'm not going to get out of bed, or I'm not going to do anything after work because that's too risky, or I'm not going to talk to my spouse because that's too risky. Like everything becomes a risk.
Yeah. Everything. And you're right. So it becomes like the smallest, simplest decisions that maybe you and I take for granted because we do them easily becomes an incredible hardship. And like, this is exactly how people can build into depression, build into increased anxiety. Yeah. And it's this, I'm scared to talk to my boyfriend about what's happening, or I'm scared to open up and be judged. But the truth is, if you don't open your heart up and you don't let others in, you're not really living. Like life, at the end of the day, life is all about connection and relationships. And that is what gives us purpose and meaning. It's not, oh, I wish I'd made, like 20,000 more, or God, if only I'd worked like 20 more hours a week. It's, I wish I had spent more time with my family or my friends, or I wish I had done those things that I really wanted to do, but I held myself back from. Because I wish I'd showed up and done those things. Yeah. So we get really scared. And what I want to say is, it's okay to be scared. Be brave. Do it anyway. Tap into that deepest part of you that believes in you, that child wonder that you used to have, that used to go running around like a sprinkler with. Where is that? Because the truth is, we box ourselves in. We limit ourselves. Nobody is limiting you. You are limiting your freaking self.
Yeah, we do this to ourselves, right? Because we forget that we have choice around it.
Yeah. And choice is the most powerful thing. And by the way, I'm saying this and I'm really passionate about this. And I want everyone to know that I'm saying this to empower you, not to punish you, not to make you feel like, oh, I should just give up. I'm saying this because I want you to understand that in every single moment of every single day, there is a choice to be made. For example, let's just say, and this is a little off topic, but earlier today, I found myself in a grocery store line, and sure enough, I had chosen the wrong line. So I could either focus, whatever, you know what I mean? Let's just be real. So I could either focus on, oh man, I'm gonna have to wait forever, blah, 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 so annoying. Or I was like, you know what? This is a great opportunity for me to practice gratitude. And I thought, how lucky am I that in the middle of my workday, I was able to conveniently go to the grocery store and get some supplies. And also I just happen to really love Trader Joe's. So I was like, I already know that I've got a plethora of groceries here. I'm going to walk out with one heck of a deal. So I shifted my attention. I realize that doesn't relate to courage, but my point is, in every moment you have a choice. Are you helping yourself, or are you hurting yourself? Every single time you hold yourself back from something, you are hurting yourself. And it is a lie and an illusion if you don't think so. And here's why. Because you believe that you're protecting yourself. But at the end of the day, it's those small decisions over and over and over that you thought you were protecting yourself from, where you were literally just boxing yourself in and constraining yourself and making your life smaller. You were shrinking down. You were becoming less than, and you were shutting yourself off from your true capacity.
I love that. That's awesome. All right. So let's wrap this up, unless you have any other strategies you'd like to share.
I'd say this, one of my favorite things to do with clients is to have them identify one strength at least, especially if you're struggling with depression or anxiety. Identify one thing about yourself that you really like. And I want you to just hang out in that space of I'm persistent. I'm incredibly persistent. So I want you to just hang out in the space of, this is this one quality that I'm good at. And then from there, I want you to think about, how does that relate to confidence? How can I take that strength and build on it? Because that's a really powerful place to be in. And it can really help you, because when we have this one nugget, even if it's just one, and if you've got more, run with it. If you're I have a list of 25, you do that. I love it. But even just one is all you need.
And so I want to bring this back around. I had a interview that I did, and we talked about the book, The Strengths Finder, and also Martin Seligman's happiness, and there's a VIA signature strength. So I will put that in the show notes for people so they can check that out as well. And why don't you tell everybody what you've got going on? Go ahead.
Yeah, totally. So currently right now in December, since we're in the month of December, yes, I just have to remind myself. I have an online show, Fun, Fierce, Freedom.
Love it.
How to build the self-confidence you need to win in any area of your life. That is live right now. You can go to www.thrivecoachinginc.com. Actually, it would be easier. Just reach out to me at thrivecoachinginc@gmail.com. And I'll add you. Yeah, because it's actually like a lot of slashes, I realize. The other thing is I'm about to launch my 4-week, I know it's so many slashes, and I was like, that's silly to tell them that. I'm about to launch my 4 weeks to Clarity program, which kicks off in January and is a 4-week group coaching program aimed at helping you design your 2019. I absolutely love this program. It's super fun because there's a lot of momentum in January that I like to capitalize in on, so that you can get the results that you want. And it's a group coaching program. It's only 4 weeks long. So it's a great way to get started. And I love that with like January might be one of my favorite times of year. So.
I love January.
I know. I'm like the newness, the freshness, the belief. It's just ripe with possibilities.
It is.
And so that's really what I've got going on. And I hope that you guys sign up for the show so that you can come over and check stuff out, because it's really awesome. And there are amazing people on there.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show. It was really fun.
Yeah,
and hopefully next time we won't. It's the best way to end the show. Oh my gosh.
Example though of what confidence really is. It's doing things anyway. It's always rolling with what happens.
That's right. You got it. All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. And be sure to check out Kate Dorsey at thrivecoachinginc@gmail.com. Right? Did I get that right? All right. Yep. Okay, everyone. Have a good night. And we will talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.